Here we are again with Beech, our rock critic for Dante. Now, today we are talking about music and art.
Yes.
So, art goes pop, rock gets arty.
Yeah.
What do you say about that?
Well, this is exactly what's been happening for a very long time, because rockers just don't want to be rockers. A lot of them want to try to be something else. They want to be artists, and some of them are quite seriously good artists. There are good ones that down the years, people like Joni Mitchell. Some of them are not, but they try, and I'm thinking of Ron Wood or the Rolling Stones and people like that. But yeah, it's a mixed old bunch there between people who are successful and those who aren't.
So, but that's, the star usually are used to being portrayed by others rather than vice versa. So,
yeah. Exactly. You know, there are many classic album sleeves. Then in the article I make mention of Mick Rock, who's a rock photographer who's done a whole number of very famous sleeves for people like David Bowie. And when people actually turn around and put the camera on the other side, then it gets to be very interesting.
So do you think they can make a life as a second job after that?
Not many of them can, Massimo. There certainly are people who've tried hard. People even like, great singer-songwriter like Bob Dylan, who's tried his hand at doing a whole series of pictures. They're known as the Drawn Blank series. And to be honest, Bob is a great singer-songwriter, perhaps the best we've got. He is not a great visual artist. These things are kind of like the sort of thing that someone might do in school. Now, I say that with sadness, because I think it's great when people can combine various careers and do more than one thing. There's absolutely no reason why someone shouldn't be a great rocker and shouldn't be a great artist too.
Well, as long as not used to fulfill their ego, right?
Well, that's it. So many times we do have this as people who just think, well, how can I show that I'm a serious artist? And we could talk, for example, about Lady Gaga with the album Art Pop, where she gets Jeff Koons to do a picture of herself, it's a sculpture, and put it on the cover and make lots of arty references. And it's all a bit fake, really, because, it doesn't necessarily mean that she's a great artist or anything else, just that she's got the money to pay Jeff Koons to make a statue of her.
So maybe just that she wants to look intelligent.
Yeah, she's trying to show that there's another side to her mystique, and that Lady Gaga's done this many times. But she's one of the ones that perhaps has not achieved it as much as other people who are really good visual artists.
Well, she went all the way to do that Marina Abramovich things, which kind of turned everybody off, I guess. She was...
Yes, well, for those who are not aware about Marina Abramovich, then there's lots of naked and performance art stuff that she's done down the years, some of which has achieved very negative vibes, especially in New York. Some of the critics have been very rude about this stuff.
Well, there was nothing there in the first place. But anyway, you mentioned on your article that Joni Mitchell could have had a good second job.
Oh, yeah. You just have to look at Joni's sleeves there, right from the very start with her very first sleeve. Then she was starting to do sketches and things. By the time she got to some of the later ones, then she was doing amazingly well.
So, what do you think should actually, or beyond Joni Mitchell, make a living out of the art?
Well, now she's getting older, she says that she's going to be doing less of her music, and she is going to be doing more visual art anyway. So we might see more of the great sleeves that she's done, like Hissing of Summer Lawns and some of the others, which are really good pictures.
Any other in your article? Any pop artists turning arty?
Yeah, well, we've got some very strange people. It's like Maxim the Prodigy, who would never expect to be a sensitive artist, and he's done lots of pictures of butterflies and things, and they're very interesting oil paintings, acrylic paintings, and worthwhile looking at. Also, people like John Squire of the Stone Roses, who's been doing stuff for years, and in fact started off as being more of a visual artist than not. And he's good. And one more I'd mention was Horace Panter of the Specials, who's done some excellent pictures.
Okay, so it sounds like that we cover most of your article, right?
Oh yeah, but I would have to say that for those who don't know, then do take a look at the work of a guy called Paul Roberts. He used to be in Sniff and the Tears, their leader. They sounded a bit like Dire Straits, and after a few years of success, they moved on. But Paul was always interested in art, went back to it, and he's done some totally stunning pictures. And he's a much better artist than he ever was as a rocker.
All right. Anyone that he was another one that was a better artist than a rocker.
Oh gosh, there are quite a few who've tried and failed to do this stuff. I do like it when rockers do manage to employ images from art and use them for something else. And a great example of that would be that U2 have done stuff with a number of their artists. No Line on the Horizon being a particularly good example.
I've heard that Bryan Adams is a good photographer. Did you know that?
He is, yes. He's had exhibitions and things, which is fascinating, because everyone thinks of Bryan Adams in a not so good way. But the photographs he takes are very, very interesting.
All right. Well, I think it's all for today, and we'll see you next.
Thanks very much.